definitely nice fish.
Come here, Bubba. Here's a good one.
Manasquan Reservoir. Bass fishing. Hot summer. Steve, hey, it's going to be a good one. Sometimes when you're out on the water, your boat breaks down, something goes wrong. In this case, we're doing a great show and one of our cameras broke. But the show was so good that we felt that we had to show it to you. So bear with us. It's a little bit scratchy on the audio, but you'll enjoy it. Watch this. It's going to be a good one.
Right. Give me a hand with that one, Bob.
Boy, he took that off. Oh, let's go. Get him, Raz.
He's a lively one, that's for sure. Beauty.
Beautiful fish. Steve? I'm Steve Horvath. We're on Manasquan Reservoir over New Jersey. He begged me to come out in 90-degree weather and said,
I'm out of my mind. Let's go get some fish.
I think we can catch some fish. This is an amazing fishery over here, Steve. Let's just talk a little bit about this while I try to get this hook out of this fish. Like he tore into this thing. Something bad. The regulations on this, we're wearing special vests.
Right.
And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, Manasquan Reservoir was impounded about 6 or 7 years ago. And it's an electric motor only lake. You won't find big crowds on the lake, a lot of traffic or anything like that. But you find nice fish.
Beautiful.
It's mainly a catch and release fishery. And it's life jackets only. You need to wear a life vest 100% of the time while you're on the lake. Which is a pretty good regulation. There's a lot of trees and stuff. You could fall in and hit your head and all that stuff. But it's a great lake to fish. Spring, it's real good. Fall is real good. And in the heat of the summer, it's not too bad either.
Steve, we're pitching and flipping jigs to the brush in here. You had mentioned that you like to look for certain combinations of trees.
Right, exactly. Like right where we are in front of us here, we have some horizontal laydowns. We have clumps of trees, and we have some bigger trees. If you tried to cast to every little stick in here, you'd wear yourself out in about 15 minutes.
Right.
But if you go around, the higher percentage spots seem to be the clumps of trees or the bigger trees in the area. That's something different factor. You know, wherever you can find something slightly different than everything else, that's usually the change where the fish will be.
So we have a point, we're actually on a little point here.
Exactly.
This is the farthest tree, it's a clump.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would hold fish.
That's why I'm fishing. The other thing is, you know, on this lake, and you know, we're here in the middle of July, and it's hot. You know, the water's down so far. Is the fish have tended to move out away from the bank, and they're out here on the ends of the clumps. In the spawning season, if you were here in April or May, the fish may be way up there on the bank. You might need to bust through the brush with the boat to get up to the fish.
Yeah, because there's some, well, it's very dense in there.
Sure.
So it's it might be even a little tougher to fish it in the springtime because the fish are probably up in some of that tighter cover.
Exactly. The thing that saves you a lot of times in the spring is if you have a big lay down like, you know, this tree in front of us, a lot of times the fish will spawn on top of that instead of going, you know, all the way into the bank. You know,
They lay down.
Yeah. bass are a creature of, taking the easiest way out a lot of times.
From a distance, it's easy to feel close to wildlife. They're beautiful when they're safe in their natural habitat and we're safe in ours. But when our environments overlap, there can be dangerous consequences. The threat of physical harm, damage to property, and disease become very real. That's where we can help. Our wildlife biologists work to find safe, humane solutions to the conflict, finding the best balance between humans and wildlife. That's the nature of our business.
Fishin' Tales, located in Wrightstown, is the perfect store for fishermen and hunters. For the fishermen, we offer 13 types of live bait, fly fishing supplies, and gear for both fresh and saltwater anglers. For the hunter, Fishin' Tales offers hunting equipment and supplies. You can also purchase your fishing or hunting license. Personal service is important. If there's something you don't see in the store, we'll special order it from you from one of our numerous catalogs. For your convenience, our store is open early 7 days a week. So stop in anytime and trade your fishtails with us.
Hello, can we talk to you?
You pet owners?
You may think just feeding your pet is enough.
Well, that's only the beginning.
We need love.
Protection.
And a good vet.
Play with us.
Cuddle us.
Explore the neighborhood.
But keep him on a leash.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
And don't forget, take us to the vet once a year. Take care of us. Remember, pets are friends for life.
Life doesn't have to pass you by. Even the simplest exercises can help you maintain a level of fitness necessary for an active and independent lifestyle. For more exercise tips, write to Exercise, AARP Connections, Washington, D.C. 20049.
I know we have a lot of structure here, and we just bashed into something.
Sure did.
As far as equipment goes, what do you need?
Well, in heavy cover like this, you need a really good abrasion-resistant line. I'm using 20. Sometimes I fish, as heavy as 25 or 30. Definitely a good, stiff rod, a reel that's really strong. I prefer a low gear ratio reel because I can put more torque on the fish than with a high gear ratio reel. It's like pulling a stump out with a truck in low gear, versus running into it 100 miles an hour.
So you got to have a stiff, heavy duty rod.
Exactly. Like the rod I'm using is 7.5 feet long. It's a flipping stick. All the major manufacturers make them nowadays, and flipping's become a real popular way of fishing. There's, we're not like doing pure flipping here. We're sort of pitching and, casting when we have to, because the cover is not real uniform. Definitely need, like I said, heavy abrasion-resistant line, good strong rod, because, as people see where we're catching a fish, we've got to muscle the fish out of there before we can play him. And,
as soon as he hits, you got to keep him on the move.
I've got a friend that fishes here all the time, and he tells me you play with the fish after you get him in the boat.
Yeah, you don't want to have him too much time, because we had a nice fish on there before. It just drove right into the
exactly.
Into the cover.
Even with the heavy tackle and all that, the fish wound me up in a tree.
Yeah.
Cut off stuff out here. And that's one of the neat things is, with the water down this far, we're out here seeing like all these cut-off trees and stuff like that. And what happened was when they built the reservoir, they designed it to be a certain depth. And they cut trees off, at a certain height, so they figured, well, it'll be safe so boats don't hit it when it's at full pool.
Right.
But when it's not, there's lots of stuff to hit. They do have to be a little careful. You can wind up flipping yourself right out of the boat hitting one of these stumps.
Yeah, you're so concentrated on what you're pitching to.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little bit more about the reservoir, though. We're not that far from Great Adventure. We're over the Manasquan Reservoir.
Right, exit 28 off of 195.
And they designed it basically for fishing, am I correct?
Yeah, they designed the place, well, I guess number one for water supply, because that's what it is for the surrounding towns. But number two, they did design it for fishing. There's good public access. The ramps are really good. There's a snack bar, tackle shop. They have handicapped access up there at the one pier that we passed when we first left. There are jogging trails. The whole family can come and enjoy the place. You know, Dad can go out in a boat for a while. Mom can hang out, and if she doesn't like the fish, you know, she can go hiking and biking and all kinds of stuff.
So it's a total, really recreational facility for the whole family.
Right. The only thing you really can't do here is swim. And to tell you the truth, with all the trees and stuff in the water,
It's kind of dangerous.
yeah.
There are certain regulations. We're out here on a big bass boat, but you gotta take your prop off.
Either the prop has to be off the motor or your fuel tank has to be out of the boat. And that's just so the rangers don't have to wind up, you know, chasing people around. The ranger does, you know, patrol the lake very often during the day. So if you had a problem, if it got windy, you could pull yourself in the shore and they'll come and get you.
So you don't have to worry.
Free of charge.
You can't get out because it does get windy here.
Yes, it does.
You have to know that it does get windy, so you gotta have the batteries have to be charged.
Yes.
And I wouldn't. I mean, we're in a big boat, but if I had a small boat, I would definitely have a set of oars on it.
Sure.
Because you can get in here and get a little windy. It could get.
Right.
Take a long time.
One of the things we did was generally you have a prevailing westerly wind here, and we ran all the way up the west side of the lake. So if it starts howling, it's just going to blow us back home.
We can get away home.
Exactly. You could be down on the other end of the lake and be in a world of trouble when the wind comes up.
Some people that are watching the show might want to come over here, but they don't have a boat. Can they rent? Is the facility rent boats here too?
Yeah, there is a boat rental. I don't know what the fee is. The only real prerequisite is for renting the boat is that you have a New Jersey boat operator's license, which you can go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and get for about $10, I think. It's been a while since I renewed mine.
But you need a valid fishing license.
Valid fishing license.
And if you have your own boat, then you need the registration.
Plus
the boat
operator's license.
So there are little restrictions that you want to have, that you might want to remember before you come
Exactly.
over here to get that stuff, put it in your boat, keep it.
Right. Once you have it, you know, ready, it just becomes, you know, second nature.
Yeah.
Once you come here. But it's definitely worth going through, you know, that little bit of extra for some of the fish in here.
Now we just caught some very nice largemouth.
Right.
But there's some smallmouth. What else?
There's nice smallmouth in the lake. It was recently stocked with tiger muskies. It has hybrid stripers. Trout are stocked during the trout season.
So you got a variety of fish you can catch.
All year long there's something biting. And one of the things that really hasn't gotten out yet is this lake right now is probably one of the best crappie lakes in the state.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the crappie population is taken off. And the fishing's been really, really good.
So if you like to fish largemouth, you can. If you like to fish crappie, you can. If you like to fish trout, you can.
It's got something for just about everybody. There's a bite.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Oh, watch, look. Good jump! Well, you got him out of the weeds there, my friend.
Yep. Nice big one. Want to grab him for me, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring
Well,
him.
I'll wait till he comes down a little bit. Oh. Suck that worm right up.
Oh, yeah.
Here, why don't you?
Yep. Yeah.
Get that out of there. These wide gap hooks are the chicken, aren't they?
Yep. You very rarely lose a fish anymore. The hooks are super sharp, super strong. right through the fish's, bony part of his upper mouth.
It's that wide gap, I think, because you're using a worm. It dunks up, it balls up like that. And that hook with that wide gap really does the trick.
Yes, it does.
These fish are beautiful. This is what, again, catch and release does.
Yes.
This is a catch and release, basically, lake.
99.9% of the fish are go back just like
Go
this
back.
one.
Look how healthy this is. This is
Right.
end of July,
Yep.
90-some degrees. These fish are still very active. They're just looking beautiful.
Yes, they are.
All right, put him back.
From a distance, it's easy to feel close to wildlife. They're beautiful when they're safe in their natural habitat and we're safe in ours. But when our environments overlap, there can be dangerous consequences. The threat of physical harm, damage to property, and disease become very real. That's where we can help. Our wildlife biologists work to find safe, humane solutions to the conflict, finding the best balance between humans and wildlife. That's the nature of our business.
Life doesn't have to pass you by. Even the simplest exercises can help you maintain a level of fitness necessary for an active and independent lifestyle. For more exercise tips, write to Exercise, AARP Connections, Washington, D.C. 20049.
Aren't pets wonderful, Fremont?
Yeah, they sure are, Priscilla. Everybody loves puppies.
Now, how about kittens? People love kittens, too.
Oh, right. They bring so much love and joy.
Unless you didn't expect them.
That's why there are so many unwanted and abandoned pets.
And that's why we provide a spay-neuter program for pet owners.
I guess sometimes you can end up with more love than you can handle.
Fishin' Tales, located in Wrightstown, is the perfect store for fishermen and hunters. For the fishermen, we offer 13 types of live bait, fly fishing supplies, and gear for both fresh and saltwater anglers. For the hunter, Fishin' Tales offers hunting equipment and supplies. You can also purchase your fishing or hunting license. Personal service is important. If there's something you don't see in the store, we'll special order it from you from one of our numerous catalogs. For your convenience, our store is open early 7 days a week. So stop in anytime and trade your fishtails with us.
The Tackle Box is sponsored by West Marine. We make boating more fun. Well, Steve, we got out of the sun for just a bit.
It's about time.
And we're here at the Tackle Box section. This jig here, I think, probably universal type bait. Black and blue with a, what is it, June bug or plastic trailer.
Sure, June bug trailer.
And again, we're just basically flipping and pitching today.
Right,
And
right.
that's where most of our fish came, just pitching.
Right, and it seemed like vertical fall was a big factor. The fish generally had it, when it fell the first time.
Yeah, once it pitched it into a hunk of tree or a limb or something like that, and it started to fall, then you got the hit. After that, it was pretty much done. Weight-wise, what is?
Oh, anywhere from 1/4 to a 1/2 ounce, depending on water depth.
Well, we were using this one here because this felt really nice and slow today.
Right.
Weed guard.
Weed guard's definitely important. You don't get hung up in the trees and stuff.
And I want to talk about this hook. We talked about it a little bit before. The bigger hook. This is called what's the name of this?
It's a Mustad Megabite hook. It has probably the biggest, bite or hook gap for, its size hook.
It really, I think it really made a difference today.
Fish were hooked, way up in the mouth.
Way up, and they were really, this is some difficult fishing too when you're pitching those baits up in there. Well, I know you caught a fish on this worm, and it's, what is it, June bug?
That's a June bug 7-inch Berkeley power worm.
And Texas rig, everything.
Texas rig, it has to be weedless. And one of the things I was doing was I was using a screw-in worm weight. So, if you flipped up over a tree, the worm weight wouldn't separate from the worm.
So you could peg it if you wanted to.
Or peg it, right.
Screw weight. Yeah, man.
Smells.
Oh, Lord. I know, I like to throw spinnerbait, you know that.
Right.
I had to have my Durstein bait out here with me. And the only thing you said was make sure it just had gold blades.
Right.
This lake really...
This lake is a good lake for gold blades. Number one, I think, because of the water color. Number two, it's got a lot of the little landlocked alewives that were stocked by the state. They make a great forage base for the fish, and they kind of have a gold flash. So you're simulating nature.
And another bait that you were using was
pretty similar.
Yeah, pretty similar. It was a white bait.
Yep.
White spinner bait, a little fleck in it. But again, you had the gold.
Some gold in it.
Right. Quarter ounce.
Yeah, that one's a quarter ounce.
The other thing we could use too, as you had mentioned, was flipping tube.
Right.
They've become real popular now.
Very, very popular. That one happens to be made by Zoom, but there's a bunch of them out on the market. They work real well. They're almost surpassing a jig in popularity for flipping.
Yeah, after Denny Brower did all that.
After he won a classic, sure.
Again, weedless also.
Right.
And again, it's probably one of the ones that you'd always have to say, gotta throw a lizard.
Right, gotta throw a lizard, especially in the spring, before water gets real warm. I catch a lot of fish, this time of year on a lizard, but in the spring, it's my number one flipping bait.
And again, the June bug color.
June bug in dirty water, something like a pumpkin or a watermelon in cleaner water.
What, 90 degrees out here today, and we are wearing these really interesting life vests.
Yes.
That's a must because you have to wear them while you're on the water on this lake. But be it 90 degrees, wearing an old life vest, we would have cooked. Tell us about these life vests that West Marine has.
Well, these are West Marine vests made by a company called Suspenders. They're inflatable. They're manually inflatable, which means when you fall in the water, you grab this little tab, pull it out, and bang, it automatically deploys, buoys you right up to the top. It comes in a bunch of different shapes and sizes. They have one that comes in a belt pack now. You wear it around your waist, and if you fell in, you pull it. The life vest would inflate, and you just put it right over your head. It's even kind of more comfortable than these.
Yeah, so if you're out for summertime or something like that,
sure,
you can wear those, and they're very comfortable, lightweight, very comfortable.
Yep.
And they're comparable really to a quality regular life vest that you would wear.
You can get one without spending an arm and a leg. The model that we have here has 35 pounds of buoyancy, which is about enough to float a gorilla. More than enough that we would ever need. There's also another one made that has 22 pounds of buoyancy. That is, definitely competitively priced with, the average life vest.
Hey, you got to check into these. Stop by the West Marine store near you and check these out. Tell you, they're really comfortable summertime fishing. Let me tell you.
Would have died without them today.
Lord. Hey, that's the tackle box. We're going to take a little drink, a little rest, and
get out of
back
here.
Out.
Bob, here's a quick tip for the viewers out there that when you're flipping a heavy cover like this, you want to leave some slack in the line so your lure falls straight down next to the cover, because if you toss a lure in right and it lands next to a tree and your line's tight, it'll act like a pendulum and actually swing back toward you, and when you tighten up, you won't be anywhere near where the fish is supposed to be.
And the type of fishing that we're doing, you want that, you got to be right in his face, right on top of him.
Right on his nose.
You got to pull it away.
There's a lot of times, you get the hit as on the initial fall. You toss it in there, let it sink. A lot of times you hop at a time, maybe 2-3 times, and pull it out of there. Get on to the next object. That way you cover a lot of water, even fishing a slow lure like a jig.
Hey, Manasquan Reservoir, Steve Horvath, West Marine, I want to thank you very much. You got to come over here and catch some fish like this. Hey, I'm Bob Murray. I'll see you again on Delaware Valley Outdoors. Hey, stop by the website, www.dvoutdoors.com. All the information, fishing reports. Hey, I'll see you again. Ooh, look at the baby. Beautiful.
He broke you off.
Did he?
Don't worry, Bob. That was only 4 pounds or so, maybe 5.
Pitched it right in there, and I had I had a professional overrun here.
I just want to stay on film. I am not responsible for fish lost by the host of this show. Thank you.
Good, Jake.